Hello everyone, this is Mekkah, and you're watching not a Fire Emblem video. Today we're actually going to be playing some PTCGO using this Zoroark deck that I made. If you are not familiar with the Pokemon trading card game, just kind of follow along and see what you understand, and if you really want to understand, watch some kind of tutorial video. Because I will not be explaining the basics, I'll be assuming you're somewhat familiar with Pokemon TCG as it is right now. So, I had a inspiration from the expanded Zoroark decks to try and make a functional Zoroark only deck in standard, where I'd only use Zoroark as my main attacker. Because Glitchxcity and Lycanroc, they're good and they're consistent when paired with Zoroark, but they're not as consistent as I would like them to be, and I was wondering if it was possible to make a good Zoroark deck with Zoroark just as the only good attacker. So I dedicated the rest of the deck to just be consistency and patching up Zoroark's weaknesses, because that's what Lycanroc and Glitchxcity in a way are for. They're there to provide Zoroark some help with some things that he can't handle on his own, but without those, I need some other ways to patch those up. So of course we got Zoroark as the main attacker. Trade, you discard one, you draw two, discard bad cards, draw good cards. This ability is a no-brainer. It's sometimes pretty hard to figure out what to discard, but other than that, it's really good and really consistent. And right, it's beating, generally you'll be hitting for 120, 20 for every Pokemon in play, and then with the Choice Band you're healing for 150. Which is good, but it's not enough to get 100 KOs, which is why I thought I would also base this deck kind of around Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko's Flying Flip does 20 to every Pokemon that your opponent has in play. So the main use for this is to set up opposing Tapu Leles for 20 damage. They go down from 170 HP to 150. And then you can kill them with a Riotous Beating, or I guess you can knock them out, because it's Pokemon, you don't actually kill things, you knock them out, they go to the discard, they go back into their Pokeball or whatever. So, Zoroark doesn't get a whole lot of 1 KOs on his own, but paired with Tapu Koko and Professor Kukui, he can still pack a pretty good punch, and hopefully that will be enough. And I've got Mr. Mime right here. This is really just a filler Pokemon to fill my bench, because Riotous Beating needs Pokemon bench in order to do a lot of damage. And I figured with all the Buzzhole popping up recently, I might as well pop in a Mr. Mime. I could have used Mew EX as well, I might try that out too. That might be even better, but I just felt like trying out Mr. Mime. So that's why he's here. And I've got 4 Tapu Lele, as well as 4 Bridget, because, you know, if you're not using Bridget on turn 1, you're pretty much screwed with any Zoroark deck, I feel, if not almost every deck in the format. So I wanted to minimize the chances of that. So this way I have 4 Lele, 4 Bridget, and 4 Ultra Ball, which gives me pretty good odds. I didn't calculate them of hitting a turn 1 Bridget. I haven't failed to hit one yet, so I'm pretty happy. Now the obvious weakness, literally, of a Zoroark deck that doesn't have any partners is that it, like, fighting Pokemon just tear it apart. Mime kind of helps against Buzzhole, but I thought Lycanroc would just completely wreck me. So I decided, you know, let's play 4 Enhanced Hammer, let's just discard a Strong every time they put one down. And then I thought I might as well go all the way, and I'll include some Crushing Hammer as well. I only had room for 3, and it's kind of a bad count to have 3, I kind of want 4, but there's some other things I wanted in here as well. Probably some other bad cards, I might end up with 4 Crushing Hammer at some point. But this way, with the Hammers and the Guzmas, I figure I can keep Lycanroc at bay, because it can never attack for 1 G, it always needs 2 to use Claw Slash or Dangerous Rogue. So, that should patch up Zoroark's biggest weakness. It should also be pretty good against Buzzhole, because they also have no acceleration besides Max Elixir. So maybe, just maybe, we have a chance against those decks. I wanted to include a special charge, because I always find myself puzzling for double colorless, and I want to puzzle for other cards, so I thought I might put a little less pressure on my puzzles if I put in a special charge. You know, expanded Zoroark does it, so I thought I might as well. What else have I got? I wanted a lot of ways to discard Stadiums against Ductrio and Duskmane Necrozma decks, so I put in 2 Field Blower and then 2 Devoured Field, which also gives me a damage boost. I can go from 150 to 160 if need be. I haven't really had the damage boost be useful yet, but I didn't really feel like playing more Field Blower than 2. And Devoured Field can be played down whenever you want to, and it can also... I also wanted this as a... I wanted to have like 4 outs to Parallel City, because if my bench is limited to 3, I'm not doing a whole lot of damage. What else is here? Cynthia is from the new set, it's pretty good. I played 2. You don't need a whole lot of supporters in Zoroark decks, but you need some, just in case you get a bad hand. And not having to Sycamore away resources is pretty good. I'd still play 1 Sycamore, just in case I run into a hand that I want to discard and I have a Tapu Lele. So that way I do have the option of getting rid of dead cards, but generally that's not an issue because you have trade anyway, so only one Sycamore. Play one Kukui just for an extra way to get extra damage in here. And I also really hate Ultra Balling for Zoroark and having to discard 2 cards and then also having to discard another card for trade. So I play an Evo Soda just as a way to get a free Zoroark out basically. So all consistency, and the techs are really just universal techs in a way. Not that they're useful in every matchup, but they don't get in the way and you don't have to get them out very quickly like you do for, say, Glitchxcity or, you know, Rockriff. It's probably not better than any of the tier 1 Zoroark variants, but I think I'm like 3-0 with it so far. And I'm kind of liking the way it plays. Kind of surprises people, catches them off guard. So I'm playing against the water deck. This can't be Glaceon because Glaceon would have Colorless in it because of Eevee. And this guy also doesn't play Tapu Lele, so I'm thinking it's a Greninja deck. And Greninja should be a pretty annoying matchup. Usually you win against Greninja by putting on early pressure, but my game plan kind of revolves around using Tapu Koko early on. And if I don't do that, I can't really want to KO Greninja Break. So I'm hoping that this is a theme deck. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I don't really like the battle prep screen, but whatever. Yeah, it's Greninja. So my hand is okay. I can get Bridget, of course, get all my Zoroarks in play. But I can't turn 1 Flying Flip. And again, I guess I only want the Flying Flip like turn 2. But it's kind of hard because I don't play Floatstone, so I'd have to hit a double colorless somehow. Okay, he doesn't play a supporter, but that's pretty standard for the course. I guess I'll check what's in my deck before I Lele. What if all my Bridgets are priced, you know? And Ice Hammers are going to be pretty key to getting rid of Splash Energy. So I don't want to discard those. You know, this might not be so bad, as long as my start is good enough. I think I will go for Tapu Koko, then after it duplicates, I'll try and soften up all the Greninjas the best I can, but I will need to hit a double colorless next, like, off my trades or something, because if not, I'm going to be a turn late to the party. It's tough to explain, but if I can't Flying Flip the turn he uses water duplicates. Almost messed up there. And it's not going to be all that useful. But I do have access to a Zoroark and an Ultra Ball that can be another Zoroark. I can just discard this Choice Band. And I'm going to guess I'm going to get rid of Sycamore. If I don't hit a DC off my trade, then I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I guess I can always kill this Frogadier and Enhanced Hammer it, but I think in the end Greninja wins that kind of exchange, provided they don't draw terribly. But if I fail to hit it double colorless, I might just go for an Enhanced Hammer, get rid of the splash, kill this Frogadier. The problem is I can't even one-hit KO the normal Greninjas. Looks like he doesn't have any Frogadier prize, so he just gets out for these babies. I guess if I don't Guzma, I want the Zoroark to be active, so we'll go with that. And I will trade the Choice Band. No, I should actually use Ultra Ball first, but first mess up of the day, I guess. Oh, I found an Enhanced Hammer, that's pretty cool. Okay, so before I trade again, I'm gonna get rid of these 2 cards. I would like to get rid of this Brooklet Hill, but it's not like a hurry. You kind of want to this turn, but it's not as big of a priority as just hitting the right cards here. I will actually have to get rid of something here. Didn't think that one through. Maybe I should have traded first. Oh well. I think it's pretty unlikely that I'll hit a double colorless, so I'll just get rid of Kuzma. Okay, that's interesting. I don't really want to puzzle yet. I'm gonna enhanced hammer and just Cynthia. And go aggro here. Still no double colors though. Let this end bite the dust. It's not very good in this matchup where I expect to be ahead. And we got a double color, so at least we can get rid of this Frogadier. I don't really feel like benching Tapu Koko just yet. But I will field blower this, so he has a harder time getting a Staryu if he plays it. Or a backup Froakie. If he wants to get one of those. Now depending on what happens, I might just retreat into Tapu Koko. There's no point in hitting a Greninja for 120. The thing is, even if I use Flying Flip, Greninja Break will still have 150 left, and Choice Band doesn't work against it. So it's not going to be great for me either way. I don't know why he said, ooh, that was close. Not like anything happened yet. Anyway, other than killing Splash Energy before it does anything, the hammers aren't too spectacular here. I expect he will be using Shadow Stitching for pretty much the rest of the game. So I think what I'll do is, if I retreat into Koko, he can't keep Shadow Stitching because I'll get in way too many Flying Flips. So that will force him to Moonlight Slash, and then I can use Trade. Seems pretty good. Yeah, I like that line. So he's Shadow Stitching me, yeah, so I cannot trade. So is it worth here to Cynthia? I think so. I didn't check if my 4th Zorua is in here, but if it is, I kind of want to bench it now. There we go. And I will get rid of this Crushing Hammer. It's not too useful, so I might as well spend it here. I guess they could be used as trade fodder. I'll keep the rest of his hand as trade fodder. It's literally all trade fodder. So there's the first of many Flying Flips, I hope. If he uses, I'm perfectly fine with that. What I would not be fine with is a Giant Water Shuriken from a Greninja Break to kill this Koko, but then at least he's leaving his Zorua alive, so if he wants to kill both Zorua and Tapu Koko, well, then he has 2 breaks and an extra energy and 2 water, which I don't think he has. Yeah, there's no way he has enough cards now that he has an Ultra Ball. Still gonna be tricky, but if I get one more Flying Flip off, he only has 130 left, and that puts him in range of Professor Kukui. Rider's Beating, which is better than nothing. I also have another Tapu Koko, so I can always Flying Flip more later. Also, if this Froakie doesn't evolve, I might get a free prize on it. Maybe. Probably not, though. Okay. So, will he Stitching or Trade? I'm hoping he uses Stitching. When I said Trade, I obviously meant... okay, good. So he's gonna Moonlight Slash me next turn, I think. It's perfectly fine. I can Ultra Ball for another Zoroark. Literally, this whole hand is dead. I actually don't know if my last Zoroark is in my deck, though. I'll hold off on it. If his last card is an N, so be it. If he uses Moonlight Slash, I can Lele for Kukui, and then trade until the cows come home, hopefully hit an Enhanced Hammer, and KO this guy. Counter Catcher? What? Really? Well then. Well, I guess Tapu Koko lives another turn. I am not okay with this. What is happening? Okay, I guess this means buy Zorua. Guess that was one reason to go for the Zoroark. Oh, he's going for Koko. Well, I can't blame him. but you know, if you wanted to kill Koko, you probably should have kept it active. Either way, this is annoying because it's going to... What is happening? What? Okay. Okay, I guess he really doesn't like Koko, huh? Well, I guess I'll take this opportunity to send up a fresh Zoroark. Didn't expect to lose my Koko that way. Double counter catcher. And still no trade. So we're gonna have to end here. There's Choice Band and that Bridget's. And my last Zoroark is prized, so we'll get a new Tapu Koko. And we might have to hit puzzle or a fresh DC after losing one of them. I think I should have taken a better look. Yeah, there's only 2 DC left, so not the best odds, but it's the best we can do. Okay, so if this if this hand survives the turn, I can ride its beating now for 120. The next one I can double puzzle for double colorless and enhanced hammer. And I can flying flip to get rid of this Greninja and put another bit of damage on all these guys. And then I should be good to go with more ride is beating. But that assumes no enhanced hammer from his side, no flare grunts, no counter catcher number 3, although he can't counter catcher anymore since he took a prize. Okay, is this gonna be Zorua? Okay, he's going for my active, that's cool. And a Cynthia, so didn't end my hand away. I kind of want a puzzle of time for double colorless, so this is my 3rd. Is this when Staryu comes out? I'm pretty surprised at how well this is holding up. My start was pretty good, and this draw in particular was pretty good, but I expected Greninja to be really tough. So because I am taking another prize this turn, I think it's good if I play N as well. So we'll grab Enhanced Hammer and Double Colorless. Play the Enhanced Hammer. Play Tapu Koko. It's kind of tempting not to play the end, to be honest. But I want to find my other Double Colorless in case, because I want to ride his beating again next turn. So I need to find ways to get my last DC. There we go. Still perfectly fine with the puzzles I played, or, you know, because I wanted to get double colors back at some point anyway. It doesn't look like he's playing Staryu or it's prized, so it's kind of tough for him to come by. And now I've wiped yet another line of Greninja. Although I think he recovered part of it, yeah. But once you get to the mid game, it's pretty hard to recover Greninjas and stuff. So like build them up from the ground up with all the Froakies. Also, if Tapu Koko survives, which I'm not counting on, but he might, then I can fly and flip these Frogadiers if they don't evolve. This is all a bunch of ifs that are probably not going to happen, but taking it all into account. Desolate Devoured Field is actually really good in this matchup because Greninja has an odd number of hit points, so if I hadn't managed to flying flip here, this Greninja would be at 40 damage or 130 HP, and Riotous Beating knocks that out with a Devoured Field in play and 6 Pokemon. The only thing that can wreck me here is running out of Double Colors, I think. Because I have the last real one in my hand, and all I have left to recover them is puzzles. Interesting that they send up Frogadier. I assume that means he has a Greninja in hand, but I don't know why he wouldn't send up Greninja Break since it has free retreat anyway. Maybe he's planning some kind of Guzma play. Yeah, I'm not seeing what the purpose could be here. Escape Rope? Usually these decks don't play Escape Rope or Guzma, but we will see what he does. I'm assuming at least one Frogadier will stay unevolved. That seems like a reasonable assumption. It's gonna need a pretty good hand. I did give him a new one. It's my N. If he doesn't get Staryu out this turn, or the fresh Froakie, I can assume Staryu is prized or not in his deck at all, like in his list. I'm gonna assume that's a disconnect, because you would never... Yeah. At this point we just win. That was strange. Okay, well, special charge just in case. I also forgot I played special charge, lol. I don't even want to trade with this hand. I guess I can get the Devoured Field. I want to keep with the rest of Kukui is not that great anymore after all these flying flips. But he's going to be left with one Greninja, so... All this is pretty much moots. Just gonna trade for the heck of it. Get rid of some dead cards. And give myself more options for next turn. But first we're gonna flying flip. This seems good. Yeah. Oh. Double Koko. That's the play. 2 more prizes. Whenever someone does absolutely nothing, I think they just had internet issues. So I expect him to do absolutely nothing again. In order to even have a shot at surviving, he needs to... Well, first of all, he needs to Enhanced Hammer to get rid of the benched Zoroarks, double colorless. And then needs to end in Shadow Stitching me, probably. But then I can, like, worst case scenario ever, I can just flying flip and wait for my double colorless energy. It's gonna take him at least one more turn to kill me. And absolutely nothing happens, so we're just gonna ride his beating for the win and move on to the next game. I don't know where this guy went, but I felt like I was in a decent position anyway. Of course, there's no guarantee that I would have won. So let's go find one more game. This actually took kind of long. I hope I run into like a Lycanroc deck, so... Although I think Buzzwole Lycanroc is still a bad matchup. And I should probably play the Mew. Maybe even the Mew and the Mr. Mime. Okay, so we're up against JC Master High. Hello. I forgot what these mean, even though I encounter them every so often. It looks like an old school Blastoise deck, but it can't be that. Also reminds me of a lot of Ninetales with Tapu Koko. Would be pretty funny if it was that. Because that deck hasn't been played for ages. Maybe it's Tapu Koko Ninetales Glaceon. Some people seem to be hyping that as a Glaceon variant. How about you just pick heads or something? Yeah, good job. Well played. I didn't even see the coin flip. How do I know that wasn't rigged? This is a really good starting hand. I love having Lele for Bridget and then a Cynthia to follow it up, as well as a Zoroark. The only way this can turn out like a bad turn 1 is if he ends me, or all my Bridget are prized, but it's the great thing about playing for Bridget and for Lele. You know it's not going to happen. These really are the first games that I'm recording with this deck, so I'm hoping this will be a good one as well. Last one was decent until the guy kind of disconnected. There's no way I'm re-recording. And it looks like we're facing some kind of... Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, my beautiful hand. Anyway, Alone on Vulpix indicates either some kind of complicated evolution deck or it is Alone on Ninetales. Man, did you just end me out of a turn 1 Bridget? Am I gonna miss my first Bridget ever? Of course not. Of course not. Totally fine. No Zoroark in his hand though, but it's fine. I also started Tapu Koko, which is really nice. I think this might be a matchup where I play Mr. Mime down because of Ice Blade. I don't want him Ice Blading my Zoruas. So I think this is a fine place to get Mr. Mime. I can get my third Zora later. Looks like I have one Zora prized, but almost everything else seems to be in here. I think this should be a pretty good matchup for me. I think Rough Seas is out of rotation at this point, so this damage should be here to stay. But if not, I have several counters to it as well, which is why I'm not playing down this Devoured field. Wonder what kind of stadium he plays if it's not the Rough Seas. I think Alone on Ninetales has 210. Yep. But it is pretty vulnerable to Enhanced Hammer and Crushing Hammer. He has Aqua Patch, but that can only do so much. It needs a lot of energy to use Blizzard Edge. But I do need quite a bit of chip damage with Tapu Koko. If I fly and flip one more time, maybe I should attach a Choice Band when I'm doing it. Because I'm not dying next turn, I don't believe. Because if I... No, wait, if I fly and flip with a Choice Band, he goes up to 70, then he just Ice Paths me. Although I would be okay with him spending his Ice Path right here. Yeah, I kind of want to get rid of the threat of him doing that. I don't care if he kills a Zora doing it too. This is a... It looks like I'm like falling for the bait, but I really just don't want to deal with Ice Path for most of the game, so I prefer to just walk into it as soon as possible. I'll make it a bit harder on him though. And play this. And I'll hold on to this DCE, I think, in case he goes Guzma, Koko, then retreat and kill my Zorua or my Mine. I don't want that. I'm tempted to go for a Zoroark, but I'm going to keep all this for a supporter next turn. Might even bridge it next turn. Although I kind of want to get another Koko. So if he plays Ice Path now, I can just hit him with a Zoroark, and he will not be hitting a 2-hit KO War. But if he doesn't kill Koko, then any Vulpix he doesn't evolve just dies. I must say, I never got this much mileage out of Tapu Koko, but it works really well with hammers to buy some time. Tapu Koko's kind of weak, but it's not easy to kill with like low energy attacks. You need like the big guns. It's mid game when Tapu Koko just dies in one hit and only gets one hit in, but the early stages it's so good. Okay, looks like he has an Ultra Ball. I gotta say, Mr. Mime is really good against this deck. It negates Tapu Koko entirely, makes Ninetales pretty impossible to attack with, honestly. Yep, Ice Path, as I expected. Like, this looks like a really good move for him, but I think it's more like delaying the inevitable. Because now I don't have to live in fear of Ice Path at all. I think I'm gonna get Cynthia. Because I don't want to sick him on that puzzle away. I think I'll also Ultra Ball for a Zoroark in advance. Although I can bridge it, but then I'd have to discard the puzzle anyway. Yeah, I think if I was gonna bridge it, I should have not benched the Lily at all, so I'm gonna pretend that this was a calculated decision. This might end up being a little bit of a weak Rider Speeding, but even if I only get 80 damage, it's pretty easy to get the KO next turn. So this is all perfectly fine. Still have 3 E-Hammers left. For those double colorless. Juicy hand. I like it a lot. I think I'm gonna trade this Ultra Ball. Because I have pretty much everything I need. so I can start the trade chain. I want to trade some more, I think. I'm not sure what. Let's see, I'm doing 100. I can use this devoured field now to get 110, but I'll save it. I'm not in a hurry to get anything. I think most top players, they trade every Zoroark every turn, but sometimes you just don't want to trade anything. I feel you don't want to waste resources when you're not looking for anything in particular. So it's really hard for him to even get a Blizzard Edge off this turn, which is the only way he can do significant damage. I guess he can Ice Blade for 50 and to set it up for a Blizzard Edge next turn, but he would still need to like get a couple of Aqua Patches between now and next turn. And any hammers I hit in between are going to be a pain. If I hit another Enhanced Hammer this turn, I feel like it would have been impossible almost to get what I needed next turn. So even though I'm down in prizes, I'm feeling okay because he took an alt prize and I'm going to get a GX knockout next turn unless something weird happens. Even if this thing goes to the bench, I have Guzma. Which it looks like he's not ending me out of with that Sycamore. And looks like it is a Glaceon variant, but the Glaceon took forever to come out. That stuff sucks, dude. Another good reason to play for Bridget, though. Oh. Is your Glaceon prized, or is it in your hand? Oh, you discarded one. Probably plays a fairly thin line. And there is Luminous Barrier, Ninetales. That might be a little bit of a problem to deal with quickly, but he has a lot of things I can kill on his bench. Okay, I drew into something. Puzzle. Trade this Lele, I guess. I have so many good things in my hand. Kinda don't want to give anything on it up. N is something I can trade away, but so is Bridget's. I might even Bridget's turn, actually. I'm gonna get rid of N. Don't know what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna Bridget's. And I'll get a Tapu Koko. And get the Zoroark out. Trade away Evo Soda. And he got a Water Down, but it's on the EV. Do I care about that? Well, I know Glaceon has this attack that will probably kill me. 50 times the damage counters on me. Well, if I have 5, then it does like 250, so I'm gonna try to get rid of it. Yeah. And you can't Aqua Patch to an EV, so it's gonna be a bit awkward to get a Glaceon attacking. And I think I'll attach to a bench Zoroark. If he sends up Ninetales, I can Guzma something. I don't know, maybe Tapu Koko is nice to use again. He's gonna end me though, so I'll just make sure I have an attack ready to go. This deck usually doesn't play Enhanced Hammer. Zoroark doesn't either, but you know, I have the space for it. I would honestly be pretty annoyed if I lost to Crushing Hammers. But the way I see the deck, it doesn't need Crushing Hammers to hit in order to win. Okay, so we had Glaceon and Aqua Patch in hand. And a supporter, so this could actually be kind of annoying. But again, Mr. Mime comes in handy by blocking the Frost Bullet bench damage if he goes for that. Which it looks like he whiffed the DCE, but he's already spent 2, so not that unlucky. Probably gonna send up Ninetales now. I think what I'll do if he does that is I'll Guzma up the Glaceon and hit it. Might have to deal with Ninetales at some point, but at some point it's not right now. So I'll trade to get rid of more ends. And it's bad at this point because I have less prizes remaining than he does. I would trade. The only things I want to hit are like hammers, swords, DCs. I'll get some hammers, I guess. Not going to be more useful later than they are now. Force him to hit another DC if he wants to attack. Or Kuzma him. Guess I'll use a fresh Zoroark just to make it even more annoying. And I don't think there's a point in attaching Choice Band just yet. But I will attach this DC to Tapu Koko, since I have 2 DCs in play on Zoroarks anyway, so I don't think I'm going to be using Tapu Lele or the 3rd Zoroark to attack just yet. And now I dragged up his Pokemon with energy, so it's going to be pretty awkward for him. I'm not afraid of Ninetales because it doesn't do that much damage, only 110. If I can hit a Field Blower, it only does 80. And that gives me enough time to just Guzma around him. If I don't find a Guzma, I can use Tapu Koko, weaken the Tapu Lele. Although that shouldn't be necessary, because if I kill this Glaceon and this Ninetales, I have all my prizes in anyway. But one more weakening might be handy. Looks like he's finally hitting some Aqua Patches, so that's good for him. At this point, Enhanced Hammer shouldn't be that important anymore, so I can afford to trade a couple of them. Or Ultra Ball, I'm totally happy with Ultra Ball. Oh, he has Glaceon active, but that means free prizes, so not a problem at all. And now I can probably Tapu Koko first, or I can Guzma up to Ninetales right away, ride his beating, and then he has to stop me from using Tapu Koko at all in order to not lose, or find some other way to prevent me from getting bench damage like his own Mr. Mime, but not a whole lot of people play Mr. Mime these days. I can't blame him. So it looks like this matchup is pretty bad for him. Can't blame him for not prepping. Looks like he's finally ready to get a big attack off. Aurora Beam for 110. Oh, Cyrus. Yeah, this is a bit of a nasty card against this deck. Normally I would keep all my Zoroarks, but Tapu Koko is what I want to use, so I guess I can shuffle in. Well, Mime is definitely going to go, and Lele is definitely going to... Oh! I meant... damn it. That was the wrong way of thinking. Oops. Well, I don't lose, but I made it a bit tougher for myself, that's for sure. Okay. So, Cyrus makes you click the Pokemon you want to keep, but I forgot this. I should have known this. I've played Hydreigon before. I guess we're making it a little bit tense here. Now the Ultra Ball is actually relevant. Let's see, how do I want to go about this? I can Guzma the Ninetales this turn still. Grab Tapu Koko first, again Guzma and attack. Seems okay. Then what am I trading? Enhanced Hammer, I guess? Trade the Enhanced Hammer. I only have one trade anyway. Okay, then we'll Ultra Ball. Get rid of Ultra Ball and Enhanced Hammer. I can also just use Koko this turn. But since I have the Guzma, I think the right play is to use Rider's Beating. Although now I am short a bit of damage. Yeah, this is annoying. That was a really bad play. If he has a Guzma, he can kill my only Zoroark, but I have another, so it's okay. Should I retreat? Save the Guzma, but then I need another DC. I'm going to... I'm gonna choice band Koko, I think. So that once I get another Guzma, it's trivial to kill this thing. And there's no way that Tapu Koko is dying this turn with this Ninetales in the active spot. And if he can't get it out, then I can kill him with Rider's Beating. Probably. Okay. Well, now that my hammers are pretty much gone, his DCs are pretty safe. I hope I draw a bad card so I can trade it away. That misclick was bad, but gotta deal with it somehow. Very lucky to have Mr. Mime here. Okay, so he recognized he has to leave the active spot. So now if I don't draw into Guzma, for another puzzle, probably gonna have to flying flip again. But if I do, it's game over. Not quite, because he still has 120 left, so I need another Pokemon. Okay, that's a Guzma. So I have 3 cards I want to keep. But all I need is a Pokemon. And I win with this Guzma. So I think I'm going to trade away the puzzle. And if I don't hit a win, I have another trade to work with. If I hit a puzzle here, it's going to be annoying. Yeah. Now what's? Now what's? Get rid of Sycamore. I guess. Get rid of the puzzle. Gonna draw another puzzle, right? Yep. Oh, this just keeps on giving. That's funny. So I think I'll Guzma anyway, hit the Ninetales. Yeah, I think so. And then he's gonna have to Guzma me to kill my Koko. Or I can flying flip first. Put the Koko down. And then Guzma next turn. Nah, I'm not gonna Guzma now. That was a stupid sequence, but at least it makes the game a little bit more intense. So now needs to find a way to get rid of Koko. If he does that, will be a little bit annoying. Looks like he's retreating though. Interesting, because that means he should not be able to win. So I guess he has nothing. Yeah. So despite that dumb misclick, we win anyway. Well, that was interesting. Yeah. I'll take our final prizes, and I draw another Guzma just to rub it in. Interesting game, I'll say that much. And he scoops. Alright, well played. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know. I'll take it into account. If not, just let me know too. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.